In today's gospel, Jesus says, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you." And this is his commandment.
In the 4th century, Saint Helena, mother of the Emperor Constantine, is on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem. It is in this particular context that the finding of the true cross occurs, which is narrated to us by several historians of the time, an event that will become a liturgical feast for all, that the cross of Christ means the tree of life from which the fruit of salvation hangs is in fact from now on the beam that supports the universe. The Holy Sepulchre then becomes the center of the world from which the possibility of a new life is released for every man. The feast begins with the solemn entry of the custos of the Holy Land and the celebration of First Vespers on the 13th of May, and continues on the 14th with the celebration of the Eucharist. There were few pilgrims this year, but among them were 2 very young French women who arrived in Jerusalem on foot, leaving from Paris.
We left on 17 September from the Montmartre Basilica in Paris. We did a few days in Switzerland, then we went down through the Balkans to Greece. Then we passed through Turkey, then Cyprus, and finally Israel. I admit that I'm very happy to have finished our pilgrimage. We have been walking for 7 months, and looking back to when we left, we cannot but be grateful. Especially because it is not at all obvious to be in Jerusalem. With the situation here today, we are really happy to have arrived.
The feast of the finding of the cross is also linked to the construction of the Constantinian Basilica, then the Holy Sepulchre. The first truly great Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre and the finding of the true cross is something that immediately brought healing and consolation. And the first reading was that of the serpents in the wilderness, biting and looking up at the serpent on the pole, which is the prophecy of Christ placed on the cross. The Israelites find healing. The mystery of the cross is that of the Son who trusts his Father to the end, believing strongly that the Father will not abandon him in the tomb. The cross means accepting history as it is, knowing that the last word belongs to God. It is not a hymn to pain or suffering, the cross. On the contrary, it is a hymn to life. It is knowing that God provides, and therefore one can accept reality as children who, in the journey of their earthly existence, abandon themselves into the hands of the Father. This is the true triumph of faith, not something political or social, but something profound and vital, something that is played out in the depths of believers.
We chose to leave begging, and so we left Paris with nothing, without a euro, with the will to abandon ourselves in the hands of Providence and resting in the hands of God. In the evening, we knocked on the doors of houses, asking to sleep there and, if possible, to have something to eat. The Lord always provided, and the reality is that even without a euro in our pockets, we were never hungry, and we always slept in safe places.
In recent months, we have breathed so much thirst for vengeance in this land, and I believe that Christians here, as well as Christians in the rest of the world, must once again draw healing from the cross. So to obtain the gift of a reconciled heart capable of offering reconciliation. In the dark moments of history, as well as of our personal existence, looking at the cross means looking at that light that shines in the darkness and that darkness cannot overcome.